SAT alone, watching TV at Dave and Marie's house. I couldn't stop thinking about my encounter with Ewdard Cullen earlier that day. He was so beautiful and sexy with such amazing hair and eyes, and I could hardly believe he had noticed someone like me. But I was angry at how he made me feel, how I burnt like crimson hot flame when he touched me, and how he'd not listened to me. And how he dared to touch me at all when he had a GF anyways, even if she was a mean girl with an ugly heart and not that hot. But no matter how much I tried to hate him, I simply couldn't. Suddenly the phone rang. Hello? Hey, is this Atlantiana? Yeah, who is this? I asked. It's Mike Newton from your class. I was wondering if you're wanted to go to La Plush with me tomorrow night, maybe? There's a party on the beach with whole crowd of us going, and I thought you seemed really nice, so I thought maybe you'd want to be my date, please. Aren't you the guy who hangs out with all the pathetic cheerleaders and stuff? I asked. You mean Bella and Jessica's gang? Sometimes, I guess, but they're way shallow and not as hot as you. And they can be mean sometimes. Then why do you hang out with them then, you shallow creep? And why are you asking me out when you hardly know me, Mike? 'Cause you think I'm hot? Why can't you see you're just as shallow if you want to date someone just 'cause of what they look like? I'm not that pretty anyways. Even if I was, I'm so screwed up in the brand you can't even imagine. You would no want to date me if you knew how screwed up I was. I would, Tia, believe me I would. You're so beautiful you can't even imagine. You make pretty people lose their mind. Wait, you're so pretty people lose their minds when you're around and forget their names and forget to breathe. How can you notice that I don't care how screwed up you are? It only makes you more interesting. You're so cool and different and you're honest about stuff. You are right to be angry with me. I'm sorry for benign shadow. I'm sorry for benign, shallow, and dumb. Just give me a chance to show you how much I care, please. Well, okay, maybe I'll go along if I don't have anything else to do, I said, not believing a word he said about how pretty I was. Thank you, Atlantiana, thank you so much. He sounded so happy. I couldn't help but smile as I put the phone down, but my smile faded as I returned to my thoughts. Mike Newton was kinda cute, but he was nothing next to Ewdard Cullen. Even though I was angrier with Edward than I have ever been with anyone in my life, and part of me wanted to chop his head off with a saw. What the fuck? A part of my soul would always remain in that corridor where we had kissed so hard and passionately. My heart soared that day like never before, and I knew that no one else would ever make me feel like that again. Then I thought how he was a cheater and a bastard, and my face burnt with shame. I couldn't believe I had behaved like such a whore. I was scared of the effect he had on me. Bye, Tia. We'll be back on Thursday, okay? Marie put her head round the door suddenly. What are you fucking trying to say? Goddamn. Okay, then, have fun, I whispered clammily. You look so pretty, she says. You're the prettiest grill I've ever seen. Gee, whatever, I reply. I hated it when people say that. I pulled my blonde hair over my face. I was wearing a short, hot pink dress with cut low, with black lace frills at the bottom, and black lace stocking. Dave's brother Larry will be looking after you while we're gone. You'll be okay when we're gone, won't you, Tia? I hate to leaven you alone like this. Leaven. Unleavened bread. I don't need a freaking babysitter, you know. I was so embarrassing. The most truthful statement in this entire fucking fic. I could look after myself. Yeah, sure. Mary smiles and leaves the house. Greeting a semicolon Atlantiana. My name's Uncle Larry, said Uncle Larry. He came in through the door. He was fat and bald with tiny black eyes and a red face. Hey, I said, you're the orphan, aren't you? He says, is it true that you killed your mother when she gave birth to you? What? I cry, my eyes filling with tears. You're an evil bick, aren't you? Go outside and wash my car, he shouts angrily. I stood up and left to wash his car. I got a soap and a bucket, afraid of what he would do if I refused. I went outside and started to wash Hush's car. It was a red Porsche. He came outside and watched me, and I knew he was watching me. After a minute, he came over and hit me hard across the face. WFT, I shouted. Woofed! Woofed! I shouted. He poured the bucket of water all over me and hit me again. I was wet and crying, and he started to rip my dress and bra of me, and rip my clothes. Redundancy! Then he pulled my panties down and started to rape me. Stop raping me, I cried, but he didn't stop. The pain was terrible, even though his manhood was small. I cried and cried, but he didn't stop for hours. He's out in public. Imagine some fucking kid riding by on his bike and like, hey, oh my god! Sorry, but he didn't stop for hours, and then when he finally stopped, he left me on the floor and spat in my face and left me there. I pulled on my clothes and cried madly and ran off into the seething darkness of the midnight street. I ran and ran until I came to some woods, and then I fell down in the woods and cried. Suddenly, a blast of white light exploded in head, and my mark on my hand burned like a flame. I closed my eyes and saw the face of a tall white man. His face glimmered cold and bright as the moon. I fell back from the brightness of his body. Light has no fucking mass. It can't push you back. His hair was dark as the night. Atlantiana? He whispered in a voice softer than the clouds. My daughter? OMG, I whispered as my mind went blank and the world went dark.